Now let's determine if lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Well, the first thing we need to do is look at the rules about parallel and perpendicular lines. And what we're doing here is we're looking at problems which are coplanar, lines which are coplanar. So in that case, let M1 be the slope of line number 1, and let M2 be the slope of line number 2. So in that case, we say that lines are parallel if M1 is equal to M2. In other words, if lines have the same slope, they're parallel. The formal definition is coplanar lines are parallel if they have the same slope. And if they're perpendicular, if M1 is equal to minus 1 over M2. In other words, it's the negative, if one slope is the negative reciprocal of the other. That's actually easier to see than to say. So let's say we have a line and it has a slope of 3/5. So a parallel line will also have a slope of 3/5, whereas the perpendicular line will be the negative reciprocal. So in that case, M2 will be, you simply take this fraction, flip it, so you get 5/3, and you make the sign the opposite. So this is positive, so that would be a negative. If you think about that, that's really what this means. We say that two lines are perpendicular if they're negative reciprocals. There's a really easy way to think about that. So let's, given a slope, and let's look at the slope of the parallel line, and let's look at the slope of a perpendicular line. So let's say you had a slope of 2. The slope of the parallel line will also be 2. The slope of the perpendicular line, remember that 2 is the same as 2 over 1. So you flip it so you get 1 over 2, but you change the sign. So the slope of the perpendicular line will be negative 1/2. Let's go back to slope. Let's say you had a slope of minus 3/4. The slope of the parallel line is also minus 3/4. And the slope of the perpendicular line, you flip the reciprocal. You flip the fraction, you take the reciprocal, so that's 4/3, and you change the sign. This is a negative, so that will be a positive. If you had a slope of minus 2, the parallel line will also be minus 2. The perpendicular line, 2 over 1 becomes 1 over 2. It's a negative, so it becomes a positive. If you have a slope of 4/7, the parallel line is 4/7. The perpendicular line, you flip the 4/7, so it's 7/4. Change the sign. This is a positive, so that would be a negative. And that's how you find out the slope of parallel and perpendicular lines. Let's say you're given two lines. (2x minus 3y is equal to 10).